I feel like the injuries, in some ways caught up to the Browns. Like even when James Hudson got hurt today, then all of a sudden you look out on the field and you are playing in the playoffs, and Leroy Watson and Jerron Christian are your two offensive tackles. Those are offensive tackles 5 and 6 on your depth chart, neither of whom started the season with this team. Like that's a tough blow. And yet this team figured out ways all year long to just not make excuses about what they didn't have. And they figured out how to make what they did have work. And yet on a day like today, where the Browns carried it 20 times for 56 total yards of offense on the ground, my initial thought just goes back to week 2. And there were so many times in this game where I'm like, God, if they could just hand it to Nick Chubb, how this might feel a little different. You can't really play that game with yourself, but I know everybody in this fan base was watching this game today going, man, even if it was just Nick Chubb back, how this might have felt different.
Well, and you think about it, like from this game specifically, like when it got to that track meet feel, like it was like, we're going to be in this thing. Like this is going to be a back and forth, a bunch of points game. Like that's when you hand it to Nick Chubb and you just slow the pace down. Everything relaxes. You get a couple first downs, grind it out, throw the ball to Murray. And it's like, holy cow, you just missed that. And like you think about it, right? This is such a wild season, and there's no reason for a number of different reasons, but there's no reason why you're in the playoffs right now. You turn the ball over a bunch. You got a bunch of dudes. Like imagine if it was Jedrick Wills and Jack Conklin blocking Will Anderson and Jonathan Greenard. That's a different game. It's truthfully a different game. And, it's disappointing from that perspective. But while it's equally disappointing, it is equally impressive that this team was where they were at. And, it was, you kind of were waiting on it. And we saw the dam start to crack a little bit these past couple of weeks, and you were like able to hold it together. And then finally tonight it just blew up and it just wasn't enough as this game kind of wore on.
Let's go to the